It was good YouTube. Probably nobody watching, but I still play some Rocket League on the stream, but there's no one watching. But I'll just explain. I'm a small content creator. Probably I don't even get loads of likes. I only have like 150 subscribers, and I'm grateful for that because the people that actually subscribe are the real OGs and have claimed their OG ticket. But yeah, I'm just a small content creator trying to get subscribers, and I'll put my TikTok in my bio on YouTube. But on TikTok, I have nearly 1k followers, but hopefully I can get up to 250 subscribers. And my phone just went off. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's the one that's pinned down there.
Oh no, stop it! Yo! Oh, Nosedive City! One sec, guys, the ramp's just moving forward slightly. I think that was a bit far, but oh, sorry, you're not going to make it from there. We'll let you have it. Yo! What's your favorite cartoon?
YouTube? What YouTube?
No, cartoon.
Cartoon?
Mm-hmm. You know what cartoon?
What are cartoons?
What? I'm not that old.
Is it like where they have ads? What?
You ain't never seen Tom and Jerry? Cartoon Network, Nickelodeon, Ruby and Max.
Nope. What does a cartoon even mean?
One time I want to see. Now you're going to script.
What? More fun? Turn your old electronics to... Jason, Mother is talking to you!
Jason's mother is talking to you.
Vous voulez voir le résultat? Les frères, comme vous avez pu le voir mardi lors de l'adminabuse, j'ai fait le plus gros craft du jeu les gars. Samy il a ajouté le mule dans la craft machine. On pouvait mettre 3 Nubini avec un des Sourceman. Et j'ai eu l'idée de fou de mettre 3 Nubini full mutation. Donc le mule les gars il peut sortir avec toutes les mutations du jeu. Mais attention les gars, on veut pas la mutation Z. S'il sort avec la mutation Z les gars ça fait diviser par 2 et le brain rot.
When I woke up I realized I was trapped inside a metal box. I hurried to bite through the red cords around my hands and feet. I never expected that the moment the cords came loose, a sudden alarm echoed through the space. I I turned my head to look, and a narrow opening automatically slid open. All I could see were rolling ocean waves. At that moment, I realized I had been locked inside a new type of prison. It turned out that 200 years later, crime rates had sharply increased. Traditional prisons could no longer hold everyone, so the state developed a new form of detention. Prisoners were sealed in metal boxes and taken to remote areas. This was meant to reduce pressure on regular prisons, but for me, it was endless suffering. Through the screen on the wall, I learned I would have to serve 7 years here. That nearly broke me, because before this, I had been a good citizen. I had never done anything wrong. I was certain someone had deliberately framed me, but trapped beside ocean reefs. Even getting food was extremely difficult. The next morning, the small opening opened again. I struggled to get up, holding my bowl, hoping to ask for food, but there was no response at all, because the food runner had not arrived yet. Feeling deeply wronged, I tried to rescue myself. That was when I noticed many pillars above my head. I carefully tried to touch them, but I did not expect a strong electric response, so I had no choice but to search elsewhere. Suddenly, I found a latch below. I tried to pry it open with my hands, but there was also a protective current there. Everything I did was recorded by surveillance. At that moment, the metal box sounded an alarm. I panicked and lost control. The pillars above began descending rapidly. I shouted desperately for help. It seemed I was about to be crushed, but the pillars suddenly stopped. It turned out to be a warning for inmates. After that incident, I became obedient, quietly waiting for the food runner to arrive, so I could explain my injustice. I waited like this for a long time, but when I spoke of my grievance, the food runner only said she would pass it on and advised me to hold on, because food was delivered only once a week. If I did not ration it, I would starve. After speaking, she handed me some water and a small bag of oats to keep me alive. She also looked helpless, because supply amounts were not her decision. At that moment, all I hoped was that she would relay my appeal. But as the opening closed, days passed with no news. When I saw the red cord on the ground, a dark thought briefly crossed my mind, but my instinct to survive made me stop myself. I was on the verge of collapse, until one day, the food runner woke me. I discovered the oats were wrapped in a notice. I thought my appeal had finally been answered. I quickly poured out the oats and prepared to read the notice. What filled me with despair was the notice made no mention of my injustice. It only said a tsunami would arrive tomorrow, and I would be relocated. At that moment, I could only accept reality. Soon after, I was transferred away. I was taken into a forest. This time, the food runner was different. When she saw my injuries, Ellie showed clear concern. She encouraged me to stay strong and wait for justice to come. I looked at her with gratitude. While eating the oats, I discovered something hidden inside the bag. I cautiously glanced at the camera, carefully turning my body. I lay down and took it out. It turned out to be a miniature book. I was deeply moved. My spirit finally had something to rely on. But not long after, Ellie brought bad news. The organization judged the tsunami zone stable and planned to move me back to the coast. The food runner would be replaced again. No one could predict whether the new food runner would be kind. Soon I was transferred back to the sea, and that was the beginning of a nightmare. I approached the new food runner, but the man kept eating an apple. This filled my hunger with hope, yet he remained unmoved. Even though he knew my desire, he simply watched me silently. Only when I gave up did he mention making a deal, but I had nothing to offer, only this exhausted body. Faced with daily hunger, I gave in for that apple. What I did not expect was that patrol aircraft were overhead. Any unusual activity triggered immediate force. During the intense response, a round passed through the opening and struck me. Luckily, my lower leg was only lightly injured. In pain, I slowly fell asleep. When I woke, the alarm sounded again. Because I violated rules by trading, the organization issued 7 days of warning, forcing me to endure constant noise. Even when I shouted at the screen, the alarm never stopped. I was tormented continuously. My mind began to falter. I often imagined my former self, back when I looked well-dressed. Unlike my current state, eventually, a turning point arrived. Fireworks bloomed for the new year. The organization showed symbolic mercy by giving me a single carrot, but due to severe malnutrition, my teeth were too weak to eat it. Later, a new food runner arrived. Seeing how broken I looked, her eyes showed a cold kind of pity. She tossed a sharp object beside me, saying enduring 7 years was pointless, and suggested ending the pain early, but holding it in my hand Unexpectedly, because of that Apple exchange, I was now carrying a child. Ellie became my food runner again. When she saw my condition, she chose to care for me more carefully, so I could barely support the baby. Ellie often came quietly at night. One night, she planned to rescue me, so my child could be born safely. But the cameras detected it. The alarm sounded again, warning me to correct my behavior. Soon the opening was sealed. Only then did the alarm stop. Ellie was replaced. A new food runner arrived. After learning I was pregnant, he was not entirely cruel. He reminded me to follow the rules and not cause trouble. Then I would be allowed to give birth. Otherwise, I would face the same fate as nearby boxes. I could only nod in response and waited quietly. Thankfully, my baby was born safely. Before I could recover, the alarm sounded again because a new life was detected. A strange mist filled the box. I soon lost consciousness. When I woke again, my child was gone. I endured everything in silence, planning to search after my sentence. But something worse happened. Rising tides flooded the box. I tried blocking the openings, but it was useless. I thought I would be relocated, yet no drone arrived, until the box nearly filled with water. I struggled desperately to survive. Half an hour later, a drone found me. I was close to suffocating, but fortunately, lightning struck during transfer. The box lost control and fell near shore. One day later, waves pushed it onto the beach. 3 food runners witnessed this. I struggled to climb out. They pretended not to see me and slowly turned away. When I woke up, I
really want to do it. Got all business bit.
Okay,
so bye.
You're complaining about $60? Take yourself out to dinner. That's hella good. Like, I don't know why you're complaining about that. If you want to make more money, it's super easy. All you need is Test Drive. I've talked about it before, and I, for a fact, use it every single day. You're already playing games on your phone anyway, so why?
To escape the man chasing me, I quickly changed my look, but that wasn't enough. As I passed a woman, I yanked off her scarf and tied up my hair. Then I smeared some paint from the wall onto my lips. To completely change my appearance, I grabbed a handful of dirt and rubbed it around my eyes. I thought my disguise was perfect, but the man caught up right behind me. He asked the woman if she had seen me. She wasn't sure, so she just pointed in a random direction. The man searched around, but found nothing. Just as he was about to give up, he spotted a beggar on the street, and suddenly, he had an idea. Meanwhile, I was on my way home. I saw a beggar sitting on the roadside with no one helping him. Feeling sorry for him, I tore $100 from my skirt and gave it to him, but suddenly, the beggar grabbed me. That's when I realized it was the man in disguise. I tried to break free, but it was too late. He forced me into the car and tried to take me away. Just when he thought he had won, I pulled out a key and locked the car from the inside. Turns out, I had secretly taken his keys earlier. I quickly climbed into the driver's seat, ready to leave. Seeing this, he ran to the front of the car, used all his strength, and ripped open the hood. Then he yanked out the battery cable. Right at that moment, a patrol officer showed up. Thinking he was stealing a car, the officer immediately restrained him. The man quickly explained it was his car and claimed I was trying to scam him out of money. Hearing this, I leaned out and spoke up. I told the officer what I...
The entire exterior of the building was encased in walls made of nanotechnology. Bullets ricocheted off the walls. They dodged in time and narrowly escaped. After trying hammers, power drills, and other methods, they still couldn't breach the walls to leave the building. Since they couldn't exit through doors or windows, perhaps reaching the lowest level might reveal an underground passageway out. They smashed through the floor with a hammer and rappelled down to the lower levels. Every apartment they passed was encased within this bizarre wall. They descended from the 3rd floor to the 2nd, then to the 1st. They climbed down a ladder into the basement, only to find failure. This space, too, was surrounded by the strange wall. Returning to the 1st floor to strategize, they accidentally discovered a peculiar remote control in the apartment landlord's drawer. Perhaps this held the key to unlocking the wall mechanism. He gently blew flour onto the remote, revealing faint fingerprint traces. After testing numerous password combinations, the remained unchanged, but a secret chamber door swung open. Inside the chamber, several computers displayed surveillance feeds from every apartment in the building. Through the footage, they clearly witnessed the truth behind the Black Walls formation. At last, they found hope of escape. He transferred a peculiar computer program discovered on the system to his phone. 4 square icons appeared on the screen. Pressing each icon triggered a set number of flashes, causing corresponding reactions in the black walls. She examined the surveillance footage, meticulously comparing the number of flashes that coincided with the black wall appearing on each floor, ultimately determining the code. She entered the code, and the wall gradually disintegrated. They entered a passageway. Following the light, they escaped the apartment building only to freeze in place.
Oh, because you have a high...
It's safe to say I got completely nerve style. Like, how do I just change the texture?
A blue glass passes through the body of a red glass, and in the next second, its color quickly becomes cloudy. Soon, the body of the blue glass becomes twice as large. While the red glass was recovering, another blue glass approached to try to grow larger, but the red glass passed through the body of the blue one. To everyone's surprise, only one glass became larger. The red glass wondered why the other glasses grew when passing through it, but when it passed through them, nothing changed in the blue glasses. The red glass passed through both glasses at once, but to its astonishment, only the blue glasses grew again, while the red glass remained unchanged. Then it passed through 4 blue glasses at once. Soon, the blue glasses began to grow one after another, while the red glass stayed the same. At that moment, an empty and cracked glass appeared beside them. The red glass passed through it, and, to its surprise, not only did the glass not grow, but it also split half of its red color. Frustrated, the red glass decided to pass through it again. However, it ended up losing all of its color. Watching the red it had once had disappear effortlessly. The glass first changed direction, and then left without looking back. The glass that had been red became angry, approached a blue glass, and begged it to give him some blue wine. To his surprise, the blue glass imposed a blue glass...
Where is he? Where is he? I'm on 2 FPS. I'm on 1 FPS. Stop scripting. Get the fuck out of my life, bro. Okay, bro. GG's, bro. Holy, bro. Bait him? What you mean bait him? Guys, you have to report. Guys, you have to report.
Timu Zero Dog Squishy Hall.
You are going.
What the hell? The thing is, I can flip this. I'm sure I can flip this. I'm sure I can flip this. I'm sure I can. Oh my god! Holy! He fell!
Chris caught a wild woman in the forest. When he brought her home,